Hey everyone, Bryan here. Welcome back to another episode of Driveway Marketing. Um, Today's episode is actually sponsored by my friends at Rock Creek Coffee. Check out the link for Rock Creek Coffee. You want to get amazing juice to get your day going. His coffee is unbelievable. Joel's a personal friend of mine. We've been working together for 3 years. It's so good. I now travel with it. So make sure you try your Rock Creek Coffee today. This morning we've got with us my friend from South Philly. He didn't send me a cheesesteak, David Brooks. David, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing pretty well. A little jet lagged, but I'm doing okay.
Uh-oh, where were you?
I was out in the West Coast doing a conference, so
Very cool. Very cool. So
work.
first things first, you got to get out and talk to people, meet stuff, and learn new things. You can't do it sitting in your truck. I mean, you can do it in podcasts, but certainly one-on-one's better. Um, what were the kind of takeaways from the conference? All right, AI. Okay, every conference today is on AI, but besides AI is gonna, hopefully I'm gonna get to pull the plug on the computer that ends my job or takes my house away.
I think the takeaway for the conference was really leveraging your ground foundation. I compared the marketing program and implementing marketing systems as laying the foundation and framework for the success later on. If you don't do the basics right from the start and you try to skip over those things to get to the end, it's not going to be successful.
It doesn't work. You
It
gotta
doesn't work.
I'm gonna have a $5 million business. No, you have to have $1 million business first. Yeah,
Mhm.
and before that, you're gonna have a $500,000 business. Before that, you're gonna have a $200,000 business. Yeah, that's definitely so that's the whole idea about driveway marketing, right? Since everyone pulls their vehicle into someone's driveway to do some work, you got to do some marketing to get there, right? And then the other thing that people don't realize is that once you pull in that driveway, this is where this all started. I came up with this name about 5 years ago. Was that everyone that you see when you're parking your truck or your Maybach or your whatever it is, like they're all potentially your client because they probably have a similar demographic, right?
Mhm.
They probably have a similar psychographic. They have a need, right? Whether you're sealing driveways or fixing roofs or whatever, like you've already got this kind of thing, and so why not take advantage of that? So that's where the name came from. I don't even think I talk about that in the film, you know? But yeah, that's cool because you got to get to one before you get to two. You got to get to two before you get to three. So what are some of the? All right, so now we open up the can of worms. So what are some of the? So if you're like in that, you're trying to get from, I guess the numbers always is you're trying to get from 3 people to five, from 5 people to 10, or whatever, or you're getting trying to get from a quarter million to half a million to a million to three, three to
Mhm.
five. Like we all know there's these whatever the
Yes.
business read, there's these steps. Getting to 7 figures is that's a big deal, right? No matter how you do it, but you gotta be profitable. That's definitely another episode.
Mhm.
Um, but so talk to me about foundation. So what are some of the keys that people should be thinking about?
Yeah. So when you're setting your marketing foundation, you really want to start your website being optimized. One thing to have a website, it's another thing to have an optimized website. So you want to be able to implement the basic SEO elements on your website. So that includes title tag, optimized title tag, meta description. You want to make sure that all the buttons link to the right place. You have your Google Maps location posted on the website, any link to Google reviews. Then you want to make sure that you claim your Google business profile and you fill out that information correctly. Then you want to go on and implement Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is a way for you to be able to see how your website performance is as far as impression share, as far as keyword query, and it'll allow you or alert you to if the website is running into any indexing issues on Google.
That sounds
Next,
complicated. That's
yeah,
I thought you said this was easy. Wait a second. So all right, so let's unpack that a little bit because you're
yeah,
like, wait, you talked about like five different things. So one is let's get to the basics, right? So if you're in the service businesses, you need to have a website that needs to look like it's from, I don't know, not from 1997, right?
correct.
So or even 2007 or even 2017. You have to have a website. I'm a firm believer in that they don't need to be so much brochureware. They need to have some understanding of what you're doing, right? I think that's important. And then also too, this is my opinion. I'm curious what you say. When you talk about SEO, you should be sharing content that's valid to your marketplace, right?
Right.
So I'm tired of you go to someone's website and they haven't updated their blog or haven't posted on Instagram or TikTok or anything that's even on their website for like 10 years, right? And all of those media matter, right? So let's unpack that. So let's talk about optimize because that's a big word because I don't know that we have time to break all those things down because we'll be here for like 17 days.
Yeah.
Let's talk about optimization. So when you mean by optimize, so what that's a big word, like it's got 3 syllables. It's early Monday morning.
Mhm.
Um, so for those of you listening, it doesn't matter, but we're doing this on a Monday and I'm scratching my head going, why the hell did I record this so early? But it's all good. So let's talk about optimization. So there's got to be multiple steps in our optimization, but that's really the foundational piece, right? If you're going to spend money to be found, put it on your website. Um, what are some of the keys to that optimization?
I think some of the keys for optimization is really taking advantage, and we can go multi-layer step, but I'll just start with the basic. And that's basically having an individual service page for what you do. So let's just say you do air conditioning repair, and then you do replacement, maintenance, installation. Trying to fit all that on one page will actually be hard for Google. Okay, we're seeing installation, we're seeing repair, we're seeing maintenance. Like, what is the primary goal of this page? What is it talking about?
That's
It
good.
doesn't mean that you can't rank for some of those keywords on those pages, but it makes it easier for Google to understand if you have them broken down into separate individual pages.
Now that's key, right? Because because and the other thing is you have to get inside your Robert Collier talks about getting inside your customer's head, right? So how do you get inside your customer's head? So if someone's looking for repair, you may want to sell them a replacement, but they're thinking they want repair. So
Mhm.
they don't want to find the page that says you want to replace because they're thinking you're trying to sell me something instead of trying to fix something, right? So again, it's the psychology of that.
Psychology of
Yeah, crazy people. I mean, there's psychology in selling. Oh my god, what a shock! Um, and I guess the other thing too is I would think about so that the more tactical is being mobile optimized. I'm sure that because
oh,
I know what I do. Carpet cleaner near me. Someone
mm,
that's a in fact I not to be political, but someone actually changed their name and I don't remember what state his name is literally first name, last name, anyone else because he's on the ballot in like 6 states so that
mm.
he can be literally anyone else, right? So you guys want to be the same mindset for being in being in being as searchable and findable, right? So you want to know the locations. Like if you service a certain market, right? Why do you not want to say that you're talking about that market? Because if I'm assuming you're in Philly, like if I'm calling from I live in Naples, right? So if I'm looking for an air conditioner guy, I don't want to talk to a guy in Philly. He's not gonna and that's a wasted click, it's a wasted paper ad, that's a wasted whatever, right? So you want to make sure that you not only do you talk your services, but I would imagine location. So all right, so how do you decide which pieces you pick? What are kind of the key takeaways for where do you start, right? Because you want to do everything, but where do
Yeah.
you start? I'm assuming there's a maximum logical limit for some of the stuff, right? So if you're in the HVAC business, you might do, I don't know, something weird generator installs, um, would you want to advertise that? Like, how do you go about breaking them? And does it matter which one's first, second, or third?
Yeah, sure. So I go about it from, what's your most important service, right? What really drives money into the business? So you want to put the main primary ones there. Then you have those secondary services that you offer, let's just say generators or, maybe light installation. Maybe you do a little bit of light electrical or light plumbing. So you really want to make sure that when you're designing the website, that the site map, is the foundational aspect of the website, how you're going to lay out the main menu is going to be able to fit everything correctly. So you may not be able to fit every single service in the menu where it doesn't look weird coming up on mobile or coming up on desktop. So you really want to make sure that you put the primary ones in there. And then if you do have maybe secondary categories, you could have a little side menu. So let's just say it's electrical, and then off to the right hand side, light commercial and residential. So you really want to pick it based off of relevance, and then what's really driving the business.
That's actually so that's a key takeaway, right? So do what's relevant to your business. if you want to do, we talk to people all the time. I work with everybody. No, you don't. You work with we're in the interior design business. Oh, we do interior design for everybody. No, you don't do interior design for everybody. Joe at the trailer park's not hiring an interior designer, right? So, the demographic we like to talk about is, people they're business owners. They still live in their legacy home that they started out with. They've had the vacation home 2 hours from home, and now they're setting their sites up for the retirement house because they're going to eventually sell home one, live in one season in vacation home one, and live in the other season in vacation home two. That's just how they are. So, people have 3 houses. Some people have 4. It's just the nature of it. And we're blessed that that's a problem we get to deal with. But if we talk to people and they don't have that second or third home, we know what kind of economic buyer they are. We understand their psychology. So it's a different approach on whether or not it's something we service or not. So we live in a community where that's kind of atypical, right? So it's not unusual, even though in South Philly, that's not. But you think about the people that are business owners in, like, let's just talk about the Philadelphia market. My brother lived in the Philadelphia suburbs. Like, they have a home, they have a home at the shore, right? That's what people do. They have a place in the Poconos. They've got a place in Vermont. They've got a place somewhere, like, so that's what happens when you guys grow a business. The whole idea is you don't have to work all the time. So you're going to do something for fun. And so you got to do that. So, all right. So optimization is key. So you talked about mobile. You mentioned that casually. So I would think, for in the home services, how do you even think about, how important mobile is, right? Are there different or how would you go about finding out? So is repair more important for mobile than replacement for certain stuff, or are certain industries hire mobile? I just think of people sitting on a baseball field or a soccer field or lacrosse field or football field, like, waiting while their kids at practice looking for stuff, right? So
Yeah, no, mobile is definitely huge important. I think, over, 70% of searches are made up from a mobile device or a tablet. And then the rest is desktop. So customers are searching for you on their mobile device, whether that be in the search browser. So whether that be Google Chrome or Safari or AOL or Bing or DuckDuckGo, or they could be using Apple Maps or Google Maps.
yeah, I think the maps it's kind of crazy. As I travel around, more and more often, I just go to the map and type in restaurant. Like, that's
Yeah.
how I find. And then we have a rule that says you got to have more than 50 reviews, and because if you get 10 or 20, you get your family to do that. But at some point, the friends and family goes away, and your service drives through that. That's really interesting. 70% is mobile. I didn't know that. I would be curious to know, out of the mobile, how much is apps versus how much web search. Do you have any idea what I mean? I'm not, any idea?
Yeah, no, I don't have the exact number on that one.
We got to find that out. That's a
Yeah,
two
we
on
got
our part. We're gonna find out how many people look at mobile map, because
mhm.
I gotta believe that's, I
Oh,
mean,
but it's a huge majority of yeah, it's a huge majority of the business. I think, average in a quarter, we've seen the number, from, 80 to 200 plus phone calls from Google Business Profile, slash, maybe between 180 to 3 to 400 website clicks, just from the profile alone. So a lot of people are searching maps.
yeah. You said something so I will tell you that, because those of you that have listened to the podcast understand we answer inbound inquiries, right? That's kind of the business we're in. Answer the phone. I don't care if it's me. Doesn't matter. So if you get 100, so think about it. If you're getting between 80 and 200 calls a month, you've heard me talk. David and I talked about this pre-call. You've heard me talk about this other episode. Less than 20% of you who are listening to this podcast are actually answering your inbound, all of your inbounds, not just when you feel like it, all of them. Because I get it. Out of those 80 to 200 calls, there's probably a third of them are some kind of someone else who's trying to sell you something else, and some number, right? We see between 20 and 30% of inbound inquiries that are phone related are little league calls asking for sponsorship, someone trying to sell you a credit card services, right? But still, you can't discern that when you answer the phone. You shouldn't be discerning that, because they're just numbers. You want to know that on an average day, we get 40 inbound inquiries and 30 of them booked a job, or we get, whatever it is, because all that matters is the book job number, right?
Yep.
So, big takeaway. You've heard me talk about it every episode. Answer the phone, answer your email, answer your ad, because that's what you're paying for that traffic, whether you know it or not. it's costing you money.
The money.
Right. So, and I realize, and so, this is my friends that are in the ad business or in the doing local search or doing whatever. They do franchises or they, whatever. Their biggest complaint is people don't reply to the inquiries they're creating. So if you're not like, and even if your inbound inquiry is referral based, right? Whatever your inbound inquiry strategy is, have a method to respond, right? And tech can help, sure. But it's not the only answer. People crave talking to humans. If you're gonna call, there's a pretty good chance they want to talk to somebody. Like, and then because if you don't, the deal. If you're generating a call and you're not answering, guess what they're doing if you don't answer? Go on the next one. And you still pay for that traffic, right? So regardless of what it is, there was some cost traffic, right? Whether it's an ad or a search or SEO or whatever, you're spending money, long tail, short tail ads for stuff. So, sorry, you can tell I get kind of crazy with that because like I didn't realize what a big pain in the butt it is, right? I get it. And then I didn't realize like how how much more fun your business is when you're booking more jobs because figuring out how to do work is a whole lot easier than trying to figure out how to find work. When you're trying to find work, that's usually desperation and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But when you're busy and the other side is sometimes you just can't do it. That growing's fun. Not being in business is not fun, right? So you guys all work hard to get your clients, keep them, get them to refer more often, right? So definitely do that. All right. So we talked about optimization. We talked about mobile. So what about all right, SEO is like a topic for a million years, and we definitely don't have time here because I'm trying to keep these episodes short. But outside of technical on-page SEO, right? So there's a term that guys like to use that is called on-page. There's all kinds of technical reasons, like guys like David and other guys like him. It's got to be set up right so you have a chance to win, right? So outside of that, outside of technical page, like what are some things that someone can do regularly to help generate more SEO related traffic to their business, right? Besides the technical side of it, right? What are some
Yeah.
things they can do?
And some of the things that they can do is really simple. Ask for review, right? You're in a home, you're doing a service, you're doing a job. Get those reviews from your customers, right? Being able to send them a review link, whether that's in an email or through a text message, that allows them to be able to leave your business a review, give you a 5-star rating on Google. Studies show that more than 75% of people, when looking at searching for a service, look at the reviews within the last 90 days.
All right. Oh, really?
So,
That much? That's soon. So
yeah.
that's actually interesting.
Also,
On a side note, we get our local house cleaner. They leave presents for us periodically. It's just some simple bottle of water, some chocolates, right? And right next to that is their review card. It would be, and it's handwritten, by the way, it's a handwritten review card. It's a pre-printed card with a QR code that goes their link. It says, "Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Durkin, it was so great seeing you today. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Thanks for letting me be in your home. Have a happy week. Have a clean weekend. Hope." And that their claim to fame is, you get your weekends back because you don't have to clean, right? So that's what they like to say. And literally, like, and now the rub side is I've already given them a review, so they should have a system in place to know that I've given them a review, but I can't knock them for asking again. They should be asking for referral. I think this time they did actually. So, anyway, but think about it, it's a little handwritten card. Like
Yeah.
what's more than a handwritten note from the tech or whatever? How hard is it? Hey, hey, Mr. Brooks, thanks for letting me fix your blah 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 today. If in any way we can be in any help, let us know. Here's a copy of my review. Like if you like what we did, give us a review. If you didn't like what we did, tell me or my boss, right? Right. Kind of deal. Yeah, that's really critical. I didn't even think about how easy it could be, right? I get the technical stuff is gotta send an email, gotta send a text message, but what if you just asked them while you're there? Hey,
Simple.
like
Yeah.
again, so it's like that's how to get from, that's how, oh, must be lucky to have a business that does whatever. No, we just do the fundamentals all the time. We don't just, it's like losing weight. The heaviest weight in the gym is the front door. So
Okay.
I heard that from someone else. I'm like, I'm stealing that. And by the way, I'm the most fit person on the planet. But think about that, right? So that's the thing is you got to get started. And that doesn't require any training or tech. It's like asking for reviews, great. Setting up a review page, guys like David will help you do that. But then also just, do a handwritten version of it, right? Obviously, I always love it. If you can get video reviews, that's even best, but that's probably hard to do. That's hard to do. I don't want to be on camera. My hair's not right. I look fat, whatever. That's critical, right? That's critical. What else? So that's good. So reviews are one. So reviews are simple that they can ask for. What's maybe one other thing that they
And
can.
and I'm gonna do a second part to the review is asking for reviews that are specific. So saying, "Hey, John at ABC Plumbing, located in Sacramento, California, did a good job on my sink repair." Or
Oh,
so now you're letting Google know, "Oh, this is a plumber located in Sacramento. And this is a service that he does." Many people don't know that also Google looks through those reviews for keywords too as well. And most people just say, "Leave me a review." And it's like, they did a great job. 5 star, end of the review. But it can go a little deeper.
that's really. I've never heard that before. That's fantastic. That's a writer downer, if nothing else. Because all you need to say is even on your form or your whatever you're doing. Hey, if you could leave a specific review on what we did and what city you're in, or
Yep.
our town. If you only do work in Sacramento, hey, if you could mention what we did in the city of Sacramento in your review, that would be fantastic. And they would go, well, I don't. People do what they're asked if they're going to do it. How many? So if you are doing if you're doing post sale reviews, how many out of 100? How many people will leave a review on average?
Ooh, man.
I'm a
Bar-
numbers guy.
Barely half.
Okay, I've
Uh,
heard less than that.
Yeah.
Um, if you're getting half, we have a client that does industrial.
Mhm,
We email twice and phone call, and we only get about 7%.
mhm.
But it is at least we get 7% because it's 7% more than because it's 7% more than we never asked for before. So we get good feedback on the 7%. But that's good. If you're getting half, that's fantastic. I don't know if that number is good for across all industries. I would imagine different industries have
Yeah.
different takes, right? If it's a kid thing, probably yes. If it's a toilet, maybe no. Right. So that's very cool. That's a huge one. All right. Any other last things? I don't want to take too much of your time to. I don't want to. I'm kind of making these short because it's like you're in between jobs and you can listen to these episodes. So
Yeah. I think, you know, one of the other things that they can do is, ask for those referrals, right? Ask for the referrals and then take pictures, while you're out there. Many times, "Oh, we done like, you know, 30, 40, 50 jobs this week." How many pictures did you get of your work that you've done?
none.
None, right?
I don't know
Take
why. That's the easiest thing, right?
That's
Think of
even
the social.
social.
Think of it social media. Like here's a air conditioner we installed in Poughkeepsie, New York, in the so and so neighborhood. Boom. Like what a great here. I'm here on my selfie in my truck, getting ready to do the work. Like people want to see that interaction with humans, right? Because I had mentioned earlier, people want to do business with people, right? They want their technician to come in and make them feel like if they're at home, and they want to do a good. I'm assuming they want to do a good job. But if you're listening to this, you do want to do a good job because you're trying to level up your game. Actually, I think that's even easier than asking for a review. Is taking pictures
Yeah.
because it doesn't require asking
Nope.
the client anything. But what an amazing. That's actually cool because the other thing is obviously outside of this thing, you got to have social, you got to have content, right? Because people want to see that you're actually doing something. I hope that consumers are getting out of this. I hope someone calls me back I expect them to do a good job because they're all charging the same amount. There's no free lunch in this world. And I think as people become more aware of this as a career path for everybody, not just a career path for some, that you'll find more and more people kind of raising the bar. Like I know I won't do business with people if they don't act and behave in a certain way, and I'm certainly not probably getting the lowest cost. But hey, if you're not going to call me back and you say you're going to call me back in 24 hours and you don't,
Yeah.
someone else is going to do that. So cool. David, where do we find out more information about your amazing dude? Because I don't know what you're talking about because this stuff he talked to me about and he went crazy, but I'm sure that all that technical stuff is all you got to do. I don't I love SEO, I love it stuff. I know it matters, right? Because there's three legs, right? You have to have referrals, you have to drive traffic, and you have to get customers to buy more, right? So that's the only kind of the way it has to work. And if you're not, there's all kinds of technical reasons. And to be honest with you, probably 90% of your competitors aren't doing it. So the fact that you're doing it means that you've got a better chance to get to the top of the pile and be on the first page of Google where you can. And I'm sure they're gonna want to burn your credit card up a little bit to get there too. So it's a combination of all of them, right? I think
Yeah,
that's the reality of
mix.
it, is that there's definitely there is no one magic bullet in this business. That's why people, I hope, are listening to this. There is no magic bullet. So anyway, so if we want to find a magic bullet about David and Rhino, how do we find out about them?
Yeah, sure. Go to contractorrhino.com, or you can email me directly at david@contractorrhino.com. And also, you can listen to us on the podcast, Blueprint Business Mastery.
And I will include links in the show notes. If you want to get a link to his link on Spotify or Apple, wherever you listen to it, I'll make sure his podcast link is there, his email and his web address. That's also good for search. It will all backlink back to him. That's also very good for search. So, David, I wanted to thank you for sharing your nuggets. I know I learned. Actually, the funniest thing is I didn't even think about the business specific one. So that's a secret sauce. That's a writer downer, guys.
Gotta write it
I had
down.
never heard that before. That's a great one. So you guys all have an amazing day. I hope we get a chance to serve you soon, and we're looking forward to having you back on the next episode.
Right. Thanks. I appreciate it.